Hello and welcome to day 26 of my Sprinter camper build. Today I'm going to attempt to put the roof fan in the roof because I need that in place so I can measure out where the solar panels are going to fit. So it's a priority to get that in first. So I'm going to attempt to do that today. Now, the area I had for it is a little tiny bit small. So see what I can do about that. Hopefully I can jig it around a little bit and well, fix it still in the place I wanted it. See how I get on. So first step is to put this piece on the roof. Now you can't see it, but there's ridges that come down here. Now this frame measures 420 by 420, and I've only got a 400mm gap between those two ridges. So therefore, what do I do now? You can't really notch the edge of this, or can I? Don't know. Trying to work it out. Problem is, if I notch the edge of that, there won't be a fixing where the notch is because it's literally on the edge of the panel there, if you can see. So I'm in a bit of a conundrum now, because this is where I wanted it. I wanted it above the kitchen area, because the kitchen area is going to be here to extract when I'm cooking and things like that. And obviously it's central of the van, so it should hopefully suck the heat from both ends of the van and out when you have it on as well in the summer. So I'm going to get that conundrum in my head of how to do this. I mean, if I move it over slightly, I can get better fixings side to side because it only just about gets between these two. The other way, if I moved it over slightly, I'll get a bit better fixings that way. But then I think it screws up more holes on the edge because then I'm contending with two ridges rather than one. So let me have a little workout and see what I come up with. Right, so this is how far I've got. Now I've checked the roof and I think I can just about make it in exactly where I wanted it. So what I've done is I've cut some patterns up ready to make a frame. Now I'm not going to screw the corners like most people seem to do because these are going to be stuck to the roof. So I'm just going to arrange them and clamp them at the time once I've cut the hole in the roof. And then I can pile it down into them and screw through from the frame into these. So there is fixings under here. Now if I put screws in the corner, chances are I'm going to hit one of them screws. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to fix those to the roof with sealant and then drill and screw down into them from the roof, and that hold them in place. I don't think it needs to be fixed. I mean, it might add a little bit of rigidity, but that's how I'm going to do it, I think. What I might add, I'm going to seal these varnish, which will help them not take on any moisture. I mean, this is just treated timber, so this is designed to be outdoors anyway, but I'm going to varnish to seal coat this to help it not take on moisture. Just thought I'd add that. Okay, so before I put a hole in the roof, I thought I'd better test the fan. Now, I've dodgily wired it to the interior lights, but it comes on, the lights are on, and that's working nicely. I can swap the flow to in to out. everything's working as it should. Right, so I've got up on the roof and I've taped off the area, and then I made a template, square template out of cardboard aided design, CAD design, and then I've marked that on there. As you can see, it's quite close to these and here, so hopefully once I put it on, I'm going to be putting butyl tape type stuff underneath it, and then obviously sealant, so hopefully it raises it up enough it just misses these little bumps and then fits in there snug. That'd be nice. So there's no going back now. I've cut a hole in the roof. I've flattened these back, or Tim the Spanner Man did for me, because they were rocking on the frame. So I've propped the frame in. You'll see generally sits flat on either side now, where before it was sort of doing this on the ridges, so I'd rather do that and flatten them down, get a nice perfect seal. And there you go, that's our next step. Next step is to stick the battens underneath, and then I can get on to sealing this onto the roof. Okay, so as you can see, it's bare metal now where I've cut it. So I'm going to put some hammerite on there just to seal the bare metal. Obviously it's going to have sealer all over it as well, so should be nice and tight, but I'm just going to get on and just put a little bit of paint on there. So I've just got a little cotton bud end. I'm just going to dip it in there, so I don't need loads. So I'm just going to seal that quickly with a tiny bit of paint. Try not to put too much on because I don't want it running off. Next step is to seal the battens up into place, and they can go off, and I can got to do the drilling down from the roof, pilot hole, the fixing holes. This side. It's definitely worth sealing it with something. Now, it's not 100%. You're never going to 100% know that if it's causing an issue until you get a leak later. But, right, there's that. So, on to sealing the battens on. Okay, so these are the battens I made up earlier on. As you can see, I've drilled a hole through there. That is for the cable to come through. Don't forget to put it in, because otherwise you ain't getting the cable out. Now I'm just going to use the polyurethane sealer again. So I'm going to put some of that down here. Get a grasp on it. Don't need awful loads. Just enough to hold it up there. Obviously it's going to be screwed. As you can see, bit of polyurethane. Now I've marked this so it goes where I want it to go. So just line it up with my cut hole. There. Got some of these quick Just squidge that up to the roof tight, hopefully. On this side. Could do a third one really, but that is where I want it. So we'll leave that dry for a minute, and that should stay there. Okay, so this is where I'm at. My very messy silicone job, but it should be sealed. All the screw heads have been done. So now we'll drop the top on and get the side screwed in and sealed. Right, so I've got it in. It's all done and finished. Opens up, powers up, fan. And from inside, you can see there. So you can put a blackout blind over, put the sun out, put the lights on. You can obviously spin it. There's an auto mode which you can set a temperature where it turns itself on, I believe, when the cab temperature gets to a certain temperature. So that is it for today. I've made a big hole in my roof, put a fan in it. Job done. So I'm going to pack up now and call it a day. So day 26 done, and you can see a lovely little fan in the roof. Means I'm moving forward to actually having a campervan. It's a good step, I suppose, having a fan in the roof. At least I've got that, if nothing else. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.